What if I told you that some of the most powerful progress we make doesn't come from forgetting the past, but from embracing it? My name is Eason, a boy who loved geography for about 10 years. I've always wondered how places grow, not just on maps, but in meaning. How do communities rooted in history take on new lives in the new era? I started to find examples of communities, researched how they developed, and summarized this idea. Tradition plus innovation is revitalization. It's an equation that's changing lives, from small towns to global industries. And in my hometown, it all starts with something as humble as a mushroom. It's Gutian, a quiet county in Fujian, China. You may not have heard of it, but chances are you've encountered what it's famous for. According to China Daily, this small place produces about 90% of China's white fungus. For generations, families here have grown in the same way. It was our tradition, our heritage, our roots. But then something changed. Times are developing rapidly. People didn't abandon what made them special. Instead, they built on it. During 2021, I was helping my uncle carrying bags of white fungus with my cousin. Honestly, at that moment, all I could think about was the weight of those bags and getting the job done. I didn't see the larger picture. I didn't realize what this humble mushroom truly meant to my hometown. But as soon as I found out that about 70% of the local people engaged in work connected to this industry, I started to wonder, why such a small mushroom creates such powerful energy and creates much value? This curiosity is what started my journey and made me keep exploring the truth behind. In 1958, the conflict between scarce farmland and the people's survival and development in Gutian became increasingly acute. To find a way to survive, people here began to try to produce edible fungus. In the 1960s, the cultivation of white fungus using logs became popular in the local area, and that's the story behind the first picture. Nowadays, with the innovation and popularization of white fungus cultivation technology, the white fungus industry is embracing a phase of high-quality development, with its industrial chain continuously extending and the level of production becoming increasingly intelligent. This isn't about replacing tradition, but upgrading upon it. As the saying goes, without tradition, art is a flock of sheep without a shepherd. Without innovation, it is a corpse. And just like that, tradition shepherds us forward, while innovation gives us new vitality. To some extent, this chart shows one of the effects of tradition and innovation working together. The results speak for themselves. It is obvious that the mushroom industry in Gutian has shown a strong development momentum in recent years. It has created more jobs, raised incomes, and spurred the growth of related industries. In addition, it also promoted the development of the mushroom industry and brought community prosperity while keeping the traditional knowledge alive. That's not just growth. That's revitalization through innovation while honoring tradition. To keep the tradition alive, we need innovation. Gutian tried in many ways to modernize the mushroom industry, and one of them is utilizing photovoltaic power generation, which not only created clean electricity, but also optimal growing conditions for the mushrooms. This innovation fuels sustainable and highly efficiency development of the mushroom industry, which further promoted the prosperity of local rural economy. Meanwhile, a new wave of innovation focused on the mushroom itself. In order to transform the mushroom from a raw ingredient into a diverse range of consumer goods, this included creating white fungus mooncakes for a modern Myeon festival, instant freeze-dried white fungus, and even extracting white fungus polysaccharides for high-end health products and nourishing face masks. This move not only weaved the tradition into the daily life of a new generation, but also ensured the relevance and driving future growth of our traditional heritage, giving it a brand new definition and unlimited potential in today's rapidly developing era. But the story of Gutian didn't just stop at its county borders. To achieve revitalization, it's vital to turn a local specialty into a global story. From traditional family-run farms supercharged by smart technology and e-commerce, it grew into China's largest mushroom export hub. And that's when Gutian mushrooms began their global journey. However, it turns out that it wasn't a one-way street. We started to see how other countries were answering the same question with their own blend of tradition and innovation. In the Netherlands, we see a sheer scale from Europe's second-largest mushroom producer. They gained nice quality from their rich roots and achieved 97% rate by robotic harvesting. In Germany, it's about the huge output. They have systems like the Jesse Sense that provide automatic monitoring to achieve high-efficiency development. And in Pennsylvania, the USA, they made early attempts at greenhouse cultivation, and by importing innovative projects like the USDA-led automation initiatives and expanding organic market, the industry has reached a new level. So different approaches, different cultural backgrounds, but with the same idea. Everyone is standing on their unique roots, trying to grow new wings, which is how we truly learn to fly and reach the step of revitalization. Beyond mushrooms, this approach stimulates the entire Gutian rural economies and promoted the synergy of local rural industries like Manascus, which is red yeast rice, and peaches, creating resilience and dynamism through diverse agricultural sectors. We need to broaden our channels and develop in multiple aspects to achieve the sustainable development. The story of Gutian shows us how the roots of a traditional industry can grow into new wings through the fusion of tradition and innovation. And this idea that our roots can become our wings applies far beyond rural development. We can actually see the same pattern in our lives. Remember when I carried bags of white fungus in my uncle's workshop? When I finally finished the task and looked at the white fungus piled up into a small mountain, I felt a great sense of pride and achievement. At that time, I thought it was just a sweetness after hard work. But now, I seem to understand more. That was my first, most tangible connection to my roots. Every single change matters. The revitalization of Gutian didn't just happen overnight. It started with one person, one family, one bag of white fungus at a time. It is from this continuous, grounded dialogue with our past that we gathered the unique strength to soar into our own future. We are always in such a hurry to grow wings and fly that we forget this essential step, the patience, sometimes difficult, work of understanding what nourishes us at our roots. We learn our first lesson from our parents, but by the time we grow up, we start to have our own thoughts. We want to explore the world and want to make changes. And as we grow, we have the chance to change, to create, to build up enough strength, and be able to fly to achieve our dreams. So in our future life, what should we do to build up strength and make changes? Let's reveal the answer through the growing process of a mushroom. We start with inoculation, to nourish. For example, our grades, we review to improve. Cultural heritage, we understand its unique value and how we apply in modern society. After we are nourished, we cultivate to innovate. Have you ever failed in an exam before? Have you analyzed where you did right or wrong? Could we study in a library to improve our grades? Have you ever asked your classmates to help you? Sometimes we fail because we didn't use the right tools. We can keep the old ways and try with the new ones. At last, we focus on growth because slow and steady win the race. Just like seeds, they grow into trees. Just like us, we grow into the pillars of our society. We learn how to work with people, just like business. We learn from the best and work towards a common goal to create more possibilities. For most of us, it's easy to focus on what breaks the surface. The finished product, the success story, it's what we see and celebrate, like the mushroom itself. But the real magic, the true source of that growth, it's something that most of us never see. It's the mycelium, a vast hidden network beneath the soil. It connects, it nourishes, it's the foundation all life there depends on. And I can't help but think, don't we have a personal version of this? Our customs, the old stories, the traditional recipes, the folk songs, this isn't just history. This is our human mycelium. It's the living, breathing network that connects us to our past and to each other. We sometimes treat this far, far away from us, like a fragile relic in a museum. But what if it's actually our greatest source of strength? What if it's not a dusty exhibit, but a seed waiting for the water of our attention to grow? And that's when I started to understand the deeper truth in Henry Bergson's words. To exist is to change. To change is to mature. To mature is to go on creating oneself endlessly. Our traditions don't ask us to live in the past, but invite us to take the rich material of our traditional heritage and endlessly creating ourselves anew. To not just preserve the past, but to activate it. Let it thrive in the new era, nourishing our bright future ahead. Thank you.